Welcome to Senior Wellness, your trusted path to healthy aging. Imagine you're in your 60s or 70s, maybe even 80s, and you feel like you're doing all right. You eat your meals, you take your vitamins, you try to stay on top of your health. But something's changed lately. You're forgetting appointments. You walk into rooms and can't remember why. Names slip away. And sometimes, entire conversations feel like dreams. Most people shrug this off as just getting older. But what if I told you it might not be age? What if I told you that a daily habit, something almost every senior does, could be silently weakening your brain, slowly increasing your risk of memory loss, cognitive decline, and eventually, dementia? This isn't fear-mongering. This is what the data is screaming, and most people are ignoring it. What's worse, the habit feels so normal, we never think twice about it. But today, we will, because this one change, this single overlooked behavior, may be the key to either protecting your mind for years to come or unknowingly accelerating your brain's decline. Let me show you what thousands of seniors are now learning too late, so you don't have to. In this video, you'll learn what that dangerous habit actually is and why it's so deceptive, the real science of how it damages your brain over time, the early warning signs that your brain might already be affected, and the life-saving steps you can take today to stop it and even reverse some of the damage. This isn't just advice. This is brain-saving information straight from dementia researchers, neurologists, and aging experts. If you value your independence, your memories, and your future, stay with me. If you care about keeping your brain healthy after 60, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone over 60. It could literally change their life. Now let's get to it. The habit that harms your brain without you realizing. It's not sugar. It's not alcohol. It's not even poor sleep, though all of those matter. The most dangerous habit is chronic mental and social disconnection. In other words, loneliness, or more precisely, a lack of regular, meaningful brain engagement. Loneliness, isolation, and mental inactivity after 60 can be as harmful to your brain as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, according to the U.S. Surgeon General. Let that sink in. We've spent decades warning about the dangers of tobacco, cholesterol, diabetes. But hardly anyone talks about what happens when a person spends days, weeks, or months without real connection or stimulation. But I'm not depressed, you might say. I watch TV. I go for walks. I keep to myself. I like the quiet. Here's the truth. Your brain doesn't. Because what your brain needs, especially as you age, is fuel. And that fuel doesn't just come from food. It comes from interaction, challenge, and emotional resonance. When you engage in conversation, share a story, feel empathy, or even disagree respectfully, your brain lights up like a Christmas tree. It forms new connections. It strengthens memory pathways. It increases blood flow and releases protective chemicals like dopamine, serotonin, and BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. But when you go days without any of that, your brain starts to shut down, not because it's broken, but because it thinks you no longer need those systems. Just like unused muscles atrophy, so does an unused brain. The real science of isolation and cognitive decline. Let's look at the science. Studies from Harvard, UCLA, and The Lancet have shown that seniors who are isolated are 60% more likely to develop dementia, 40% more likely to suffer cognitive impairment within 3 years, and suffer from increased hippocampal shrinkage, the brain's memory center. Why? Because isolation increases stress hormones like cortisol. It also reduces blood flow to the brain and lowers the production of chemicals that protect against brain aging. A massive study in the UK tracking over 500,000 seniors found that those who had the least amount of regular interaction showed the fastest mental decline, even without other risk factors. And this isn't just about feeling lonely, even seniors surrounded by people, but lacking real, deep engagement, showed the same patterns. Margaret's story, the friendly woman who slipped into fog. Margaret was 71. She had 2 kids, lived in a nice home in Florida, and stayed active. She cooked, she cleaned, she went on walks. But after her husband passed, she slowly stopped attending church, stopped calling her sister, stopped engaging with friends. She was polite at the grocery store, she smiled at neighbors. But inside, she was quietly shutting down. 3 years later, her daughter noticed something. She was repeating herself, forgetting appointments, getting angry at small things. By the time Margaret was tested, her brain scans showed significant early-stage dementia. Not from disease, but from disuse. The early warning signs. How do you know if this is happening to you? Here are subtle but powerful signs. You talk to fewer than 2 people a day. You go to 2-3 days without deep conversation. You feel mentally foggy even after rest. You forget more names, more often. You avoid invitations or feel too tired for calls. You rely on TV or social media for most interaction. If you nodded to more than 2 of these, your brain is likely already understimulated. But here's the amazing part, you can reverse it. How to rebuild a strong, dementia-resistant brain. Your brain is more resilient than you think. Thanks to neuroplasticity, even a 70, 80, or 90-year-old brain can form new neural pathways. But it needs your help. Here's what works. 3 conversations a day. Talk to 3 people a day. Anyone, anywhere, in person or on the phone. It forces your brain to recall names, emotions, language, and rhythm. Tell your story. Start a journal or voice record your memories. Telling stories engages both your memory and narrative brain. Incredibly protective. Join one group weekly, book club, walking group, community center, or online forum. The social rhythm retrains your brain to think socially again. Eat to feed the brain. Berries, leafy greens, fatty fish like salmon, nuts, olive oil, and green tea. Avoid sugar and processed oils that inflame brain tissue. Move even a little. Walk 20 minutes a day. Movement increases brain circulation, oxygen, and mood. Play brain-active games. Crosswords, chess, storytelling, puzzles, anything that forces your brain to make decisions, plan, and recall. Avoid passive routines. TV and social media are fine, but not all day. Balance consumption with creation and connection. The biggest lie we've been told is that memory loss is just part of aging. It's not. What we call aging is often inactivity, disconnection, silence. Your brain doesn't want to fade. It wants to speak, laugh, remember, and love. And if you've been feeling slower lately, that's not your fault. You've been told to slow down. You've been told it's okay to shrink your world. But the truth is, your world can grow at any age. One conversation, one habit, one connection at a time. The difference between a fading brain and a flourishing one is what you feed it, not just with food, but with purpose. So don't wait. Pick up the phone, call someone, walk with someone, talk to someone, because the strongest brains after 60, the ones that resist dementia and stay sharp well into their 90s, aren't the ones who took the most pills or ate the most kale. They're the ones who never stopped connecting. If this video opened your eyes, please like it, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. I choose to protect my brain. Tell us one habit you're changing today. And don't forget to share this video with someone who needs it, someone who's been too quiet lately. You might just help them reclaim their mind and their life. Until next time, stay sharp, stay social, and stay well.